Hi guys, welcome back to the UK and Ireland tour. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have our opening league game of the season. We're at home against last year's champion Celtic, and we have our transfer special today as well, in what has been a very busy window, but not in the way you'd have imagined. We'll go through that side of things first. We've had a lot of players leave. We did sort out a couple of transfers in June. They were pre-contract agreements and they have now arrived. John Edwin Montano has come in, a very exciting looking Colombian left winger, capped at under 20 level, and he's come in very, very cheaply, £1.3 million. Really good amount of pace, very good finisher as well. He could possibly play up front even, but he's got excellent crossing and dribbling ability. And I'm really hoping he will hit the ground running for us on that left hand side. We brought in central midfielder Pedro Vargas, 22 years old, Bolivian international, excellent mental attributes. His passing ability is not the best, which, considering the way we play, isn't ideal, but he's a very good defensive midfielder, and he will certainly do well in that anchor role that we found so useful last year. And he's got a good amount of pace about him as well. Really excited to have him in. And other than that, it's just another two signings that we've made since the start of July. So Costin Boulay has come in. He's a centre back, supposedly, but he's only 5'10", but he can play left back and right back. He's got an excellent amount of physical attributes, decent mental attributes as well. Defensive attributes quite strong also. Good work rate and teamwork, positional play. I think he'll be a very good utility defender for us. And we've signed Ross Ewing from Aberdeen for £2.8 million. It was the top end of his value, but they didn't want to let him go. He's coming to be our second choice goalkeeper, and he's Scottish. That's the main reason I brought him in. Under 21 international. He looks pretty decent, to be honest. I don't think we can complain too much. And now, for the exits, like I say, we've been extremely busy. A couple of players leaving on a free transfer. Andre Kelly went to our former club Crusaders. Evan Murdoch went to St Mirren. But then big deals started to roll out of the door. Eli Yuan, I've been numbing and ahhing about it for a while, but he was contacted by teams in Saudi Arabia. He wanted to leave in the end. £8.75 million for him. Rufino Lachero didn't really break into the first team enough at right back, the Uruguayan. He has gone to Belgrano for £1.4 million. This one hurt a little bit. Serigne Diop, he was linked with a Premier League move. We agreed that we wouldn't sell him for anything less than £20 million. And then Saudi Arabia again came calling and they've snapped him up for 20 million. Very good player that we've lost there. It is a bit of a shame. Alexandre Azevedo, a 25-year-old German left back, he was out on loan last year. We've sold him to Hertha Berlin for £3.7 million. Lucas Aguado, this is again one that we might regret. We had him out on loan last year. He has gone to AC Milan for £9 million. He never really got going with us, but £9 million in the bank, we certainly can't complain. Gaz Hickling we let go for just £800,000 to Middlesbrough. His valuation shot up, but again, he was only going to be a bit part player, so we've let him go. Christopher Owusu is another one, very similar thing. He's been out on loan a couple of times, not really improved massively. And again, we let him go for 1.2 million. Thomas Falcon has gone out on loan to Spartans. Paddy Lane, again another controversial one maybe. He played well when we put him in the team, but he just lacked a bit of consistency himself at times. £6 million again to Saudi Arabia. Mark Dunn, very in and out of the team. He's gone to Queen's Park for 400,000. Kylan Saiger, the 6'4" striker that we signed, I think it was either last year or the year before, he didn't really break into the team. So we've let him go after a reasonable loan deal that he had last year. He's gone to Reading for £375,000. Jack Wint was our backup goalkeeper. He has gone to Birmingham City for 400,000. And finally, Jack Fletcher has gone to Hull City for 3.2 million. In relation to finances at the club, we're looking extremely strong. We still only have 20% of transfer revenue retainment, which is a huge shame because, like I said, we have done a lot of business. We've got a lot of wage budget free. We've still got a decent transfer budget, to be fair, £15 million. But we're in a position where we've registered a Champions League squad. A few of the players aren't really going to feature as often, but they're good players to have around the squad. And the squad's big enough. We don't really need to go out and be spending stupid amounts of money on people. And I think we've got some excellent quality in this side. It looks very average when you look into certain areas, but a couple of the other players are really top class for me for this level. I mean, we're going to be spoilt for choice up front, to be honest. Hector Vasquez and Santa Maria. Um, I'm not really sure what kind of system we're going to look at. I mean, we've got some good fullbacks still at the club. I have toyed with the idea of just having the three centre backs and have a back three so that we can pack out um, the midfield, but have two up front. That is something I've toyed with the idea of. At the moment, this is what we're doing. But of course, if we don't have the fullbacks, then obviously we're going to have to make some more sales. The likes of Vusi Swain, who we brought in last year, he's been excellent at left back. So again, it's just little decisions like this that could determine the futures of certain players. But can we afford to leave Santa Maria or Hector Vasquez out of the squad? I don't think we can. So it's, we're in a very difficult position, I think, with one or two of these guys. Aside of Vasquez and Santa Maria, Dean Martin's the only other player that we've got that can actually play up front anyway. So from a depth perspective, we've not really got enough to cover the two striking slots. But from quality perspective, we do. And it's a little bit of a frustrating one, really. We're going to have to play it very, very carefully. But I think over the course of the season, there will be plenty of opportunity for these guys to play. It's just going to be a case of maintaining their happiness. And it could be very difficult going forward. So, full focus obviously goes into this opening league game of the season. We're at home against last season's champions, as I said before. We've got Phillips in goals, Wayne, Rawdon, Morrison, and Johnston at the back. Vargas gets his debut in that holding role in midfield with Diamande and Dior just ahead of him. Montano gets his debut on that left hand side, Labe on the right, and Vasquez up front. And again, I think overall, squad wise, we're looking pretty strong. We've got cover in all the positions, and I'm really happy with how we're looking. Yes, it suggests that quality-wise, 2.5 star to 3 star for the majority of the players. But if they hit the season running, then I think they'll all improve. I mean, we've got a very young squad still. Obviously, with likes of Vargas, who's 22 coming in, and Montano, who's 23, I think he was. We're building a little bit of experience, but at the same time, there's not really a lot of it in there. But obviously, all these guys at the club have had a full season and a little bit more in this league. So, we are building ourselves here, and it's just going to be a case of trying to sort out what we're going to do with Celtic. Eli Vahi, incidentally, is still at Celtic. I couldn't believe it. I thought he'd have. I was pretty much certain that he would have left the club, but he remains still. Zwayne down the left-hand side. Here is Montano into Diamande, just holding on to it, trying to get past his man, plays it inside, and it's easily cut out. But Vasquez trying to get in there, and again, easily cut out, and Celtic gain control of possession, and that is not how we want things to be. We need to be really getting stuck into them today. And that's a good tackle by Morrison, and again, just a little bit scrappy in these opening stages. And I'm not going to lie, I do face the quality that Celtic have, but we've got to remember how much quality we have ourselves. Here is Montano, lays it back into Diamande, has support ahead of him. Vasquez into Montano, great chance, and he's absolutely slashed at it a little bit there. And that was a very good opportunity for us to take the lead. And we just need to pick it up a little bit. Possession-wise, Celtic very much looking the more comfortable side at the moment, and they are creating more chances. So we really need to knuckle down and try and get some control in this game. Here's Stamanic going straight through the middle. Good tackle by Montano, but unfortunately goes straight to Gonçalo Borges. And now Riquelme is in, lays it back to Buendia, and Celtic take the lead. And again, there's not really a lot we can do. I think the way that we set up certainly suits us, but that attempt from Montano is the only attempt we've had, and Celtic really are dominant here. We're going to demand more because it's been a poor start to the game from us, and we're not looking like we can get any control of the game either. It's not looking too promising, really. I mean, The other thing I've toyed with the idea of is having someone in behind the striker as well, and having two holding midfielders in there. But again, it doesn't really solve many of the problems, and that is not good. A potential knee injury for Hector Vazquez. Santa Maria is going to have to come on for him. That could be a huge blow. If he's going to be out for a while, our top scorer of last season, that could be a huge blow to our campaign. I'll tell the lads that we've got a chance to get revenge on Celtic, which we do, but we've not even had a shot on target today, and it has been very lacklustre from the team, to be honest. And that is a great effort there from Celtic, and they should have scored, really. We just about managed to get it away, but Celtic very dominant here. And I know the 4-2-4 worked quite well for us last season, but we didn't really have a lot of control in the games. We had the possession, but we didn't really have a lot of control in the games. We conceded a lot of goals as well. Here's Wayne launching it forward, Tarasciano easily getting there, and there's just no pressure. We're really not doing enough at the moment. Here is De Vinter into Edu Sanchez, now Pau Prim, into Riquelme. Plays it over the top. There's Eli Vahi, and there is the second goal. It's been coming, and unfortunately, we are looking very poor here today against a side that we need to be fighting for at the top of the league again. But we don't have the wealth of riches that Celtic do either, and that's another thing to consider. They're spending probably 2 to 3 times as much as we are wage-wise as well. Eli Vahi should not be at Celtic. He should be at a much better club, to be honest, as should Emiliano Buendia, amongst others in that team. But we've gone through a match here and we haven't had a single shot on target. Here is Labe, swings it in toward that far post. Morrison couldn't get the header. We've managed to get a penalty, so we've got an opportunity to save face a little bit maybe, but we don't deserve it. We really don't. And the penalty will be taken by Santa Maria. Santa Maria will score the penalty. So we've at least managed to get a goal back, but it's been a very poor performance, hasn't it? I mean, you guys will know just as much as I have. This is not the quality of play that we were expecting following last season. I know we're not, I mean, we're still doing the usual pressing game. We're still playing with the positive mentality. But today we have been thoroughly outplayed, and it is a huge concern considering that they're the standards we've got to reach. And are we capable of reaching them? Because at the moment, looking at that performance, I don't think we are. And we've got a lot of work to do if we want to be competitive. Vazquez is out for just over a month. Not ideal. Vargas made his debut, fair enough, as did Montano, but I'm not particularly thrilled with that one, to be honest. And we've got a lot of games to get through in the rest of August. We've got Champions League qualifying tie there against Rapid Vienna. We'll probably come back at the start of September. We'll finish off the transfer window and see exactly where we're at. But that, I mean, 2-1 doesn't look like a bad result, but we know exactly how the game went. So much improvement is needed. And going forward, fingers crossed we can get it. So until then, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It's all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.